Hey, yo, what's up, my good people? Welcome back to the Producer's Corner with your boy DJ Shades in the building. On this episode, man, I've got some exciting people in studio. Got a very exciting guest who goes by the name of Sebesho, who will be speaking with us about branding, marketing, and communication on the Producer's Corner Business Talk. I've got some exciting vocalists in studio with us, Noe and Summer Africa, and we've got Squatter on 6 doing his thing, and your boy DJ Shades in the building, on the beat, and everywhere else. Away. I'm just trying to, it has to make sense, everything that I'm doing. Yeah. This is like the music production segment, you know, it's a creation process, it's how we get started, how I get started on the song, you know, and as I said to you guys before, it all goes with the vibe and how I feel in the vibe that day. So today we want to go with something a bit more culturally inclined, you know, Heritage Month, Heritage Day, you know. This is how I get started, yo. I was just laying down some small nyana keys here, you know. So I was just getting started on that, but I need to fix them and make sure that they fixed. So let me go start this beat from the beginning. So this is what I have so far, you know. I started working on the whole rhythm of the song, you know, before adding the kick, you know. So and I'm using Logic here, you know. So this is the kick that I have. See, I like that kick because I think it's the perfect kick for this song to give it that vibe, because the kick is very important. You know, the kick can either make or break a song, and it has to go in line with what it is that you're trying to create as well. So this is the whole vibe so far that I have so far. You know, I added the bass as well. Just there, you'll hear it. But we're still working on the song, obviously. You know, Summer Africa is still gonna add some Afro touch, you know, to make it sound more proper. Squatter on 6 is still gonna do his thing as well. So yeah, this is the whole vibe that I have so far. Okay, now I'm just gonna try and lay, you know, some extra melodies on this and see, you know, what it is that I can find. You know, so it's a bit of a synth. So yeah, let's just try it out. Alright, so far that's what I'm gonna lay. You know, it's just that I wanna keep it quick and I don't wanna get into it too deep, because for me, I know that I like to take my time with this thing. So yeah, and I wanna lay the bass as well. So let's just get into it. That's what I'm doing. That's how everything just fits in. You know, everything has to make sense. Obviously, there's still work that needs to be done on the beat, but that's, you know, that's the whole vibe so far. And yeah, man, it is what it is. That's how I do my thing, yo. You know. So yeah, for me, I take my time with this, you know. But I'm trying to show you guys everything in a short amount of time. So yeah, this is what I do basically, but the drum is very important, you know, the rhythm, structure of the song is very important. So yeah, man, that's the advice I can give to you. Obviously the bass changes, it has to change, it can't be constant throughout, especially for a song like this. You know, it's a dance song, it's a house song, so it's got to have a little bit of vibe. You know, so yeah, that's the whole vibe, man. It's a boy in the building, away.
Producer's Corner. We're making it happen. Oh, that's the beat gunner. Now I'm coming, dude. Conjure up. Oops.
What else do you play?
Keyboard, guitar. Just those three. Yeah. But now I must DJ, rap, sing.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I want to learn an instrument.
just do it. You got that one? Ixi, ezinye. Ayangena, okay, go. Yeah. So that I can take that one. That can be the harmony on top. So we can just do that first section first.
So you wanna harmonize on top of this?
Yeah, ezinye, you know, here and there, just to give it la punch nyan.
I'll play the whole thing because I haven't arranged it.
Yeah, okay, cool. Oh yeah, then I'll jump onto whatever I feel is dope. Come on, girl, okay.
Yes,
He
girl.
inspired me, man. He's inspired me, you know. I'm like, he's bringing it out. He's
Make sure, okay, I'm on the right track.
Okay. Oh, there she is.
There I am.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm well. I'm glad you called earlier than we had agreed upon, you know. It actually works out better, you know, because my mind was already thinking that, I have to, but it was already on the questions that I had to ask you, you know, because I had to make sure that is on point, you know. So thank you.
Fantastic. I'm very well, thanks. And hello to everyone else in the studio. That sound that you just played sounds so amazing.
Thank you. we're just getting started on it, you know. I appreciate the fact that you actually enjoyed it a bit, but you know, on Sunday, like the official episode will be proper. You hear the whole song, you hear the whole vibe, and yeah, man, everything will be proper. I'm a bit nervous, you know, but I'm trying to calm myself down.
Nerves are good.
Yeah, sometimes, you know. Anyway, I've got a couple of questions for you. And the first one being, like, for the people who might not know who you are, and you're quite great, can you just give us a brief intro? Tell us a bit about yourself and who you are and what you do, please.
Absolutely. So I'm Josephine Sebesho, but I go by Jay. Everyone calls me Miss Jay. I run a digital agency based in Joburg called Janong Digital Agency. We do.
It's Janong. I thought it was Janong. I didn't know you had to say the J as in yeah. I thought it's J.
Yeah, it's Setswana. It's a Tswana word that means now. So our value proposition is about keeping our clients in the now. So that's why we call Janong. So what we're currently doing is we're doing digital marketing. Above that, so with that, what we've done is we've worked with a lot of like events as well as artists. So from an events perspective, we've done work for the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz as well as the Jazzy market that happened in Sandton. And what that entailed is obviously profiling the artists that are going to be showcasing their music at the Joy of Jazz event, telling people about who they are, setting up masterclasses so that they can give speeches and, talk about what it is that they do. So this was all before COVID, so before everyone had to go digital and we had to do webinars and stuff.
Which effective branding and communication methods do you think artists can utilize, especially if an artist has like limited resources? You know, is it something that they can do on their own, or is it something that you recommend that they find in some way, somehow, you know, some money to get somebody else to work with them, or is it something that they can do on their own?
I know the importance of, like resources. I know that resources sometimes hold people back. But I think in the event where you do not have resources, we have these mobile phones now. The social media platforms are free. And that's where you can engage with your audiences and build your brand. So the number one thing is you need to develop content. So if you have, let's say, a very old phone that you can't utilize, you might know someone who has a better phone that you can use. So you need to develop content, right? Talk about yourself. If you have videos of yourself performing, or if you're performing, make sure that you get a video of yourself performing just to showcase who you are. Because people will forget about you and you won't be memorable, and brands won't get to know about you, promoters won't get to know about you, event organizers won't know about you. We've often worked with artists that have literally not even a Facebook page, only because the word of mouth around them is so great, or maybe they have a publicist that is, that pushes them hard. But you can really do yourself a great justice if you invest in your social media pages, literally from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Ensure that your collateral is out there, your content is out there. Make sure that you have a bio that's already done. If you ask for rates, make sure that that's ready and it's ready to go out like now. And if you don't have anyone doing that for you, try and everyone knows people, and there's always people willing to help. So try and get someone who can help you to do that, and be consistent. Try and post as often as you can, telling your story, sharing your music, sharing your links, talking about new things. Get yourself on TikTok if you're not on TikTok.
Is it really that important?
Well, what I've noticed is that because it has the in-app functionalities that enable you to enhance your content. So if you have limited resources, for example, and you can't necessarily afford a videographer and an editor and an animator, it can help you to create content that you can still put out on other platforms. So this is like, part of enabling you to be self-sufficient and, to sustain yourself. You know what I mean? And obviously, if you are a bigger brand that's more established in the market and you need a reinvention, or you want to reintroduce yourself, you have to have, get a publicist or get a team. do research, get a strategist, someone who can enable you give you insights that will help you to position yourself in the way that you want, so that you can reach the audiences that you want to reach, and you can achieve the objectives that you're looking to achieve.
All right. Ejo, like you're just answering these questions. So, how are brands changing the way they invest in artists, and how do you think they are going to invest in artists in the future? Taking into consideration the fourth industrial revolution, and obviously a lot is changing. And how do you think brands are going to change the way they invest in artists and music in South Africa?
Yeah. So that's quite an important question, and I'll answer it in three parts. The first part is that something that I've noticed that brands are doing, as in more brands, even brands that you wouldn't have expected, is they playing a lot in the development space. So in the past, we've always seen Red Bull with I think it's Amapigo, the studios that they had, where they were doing collaborations, where they were putting on unknown artists. So we're starting to see brands like Old Mutual, which we've never associated with music or entertainment, setting up a studio in Newtown and also investing in development. So I think that's the first thing that I'm noticing that is becoming a key thing in artist investments, within that space. And then another thing is that there's other things. So we've noticed now that there's a lot of brands do influencer strategies. So before they get influencers on, they do their due diligence on that influencer. They do all the research about them, whether they're a micro or a macro influencer. It's strategically based and strategically led. That's why if you have your own brand and you're helping brands to navigate and understand who you are, they know which campaign to partner with you on, be it a social media campaign from an influencer perspective, or if it's a bigger contract like an endorsement where they'll be sending you merchandise or shoes and you only have to wear a particular brand's shoes. It's also informed by a strategy. So the thing that I note that I can say as a prediction is that it's going very much around authenticity. So gone are the days of mediocrity. We've just gone through a pandemic. People need something more deep, more meaningful, more substantial. So I can predict that brands are definitely going for truth and people that are authentic in even the things that they do around their communities or the collaborations that they have with other people, the messages that they put out there. It's that's the zeitgeist of the time. That's what's needed and wanted right now. So that's just the first part of my answer with regards to where the investment is going to go. Regarding the fourth industrial revolution, we've noticed also this year that there's been a lot of online music events, which I would have never thought would be a thing. So every year we do the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz, and this year there's COVID, so it's like, what do we do? Do we still book out the Sandton Convention Center, or do we go online and present or do a virtual experience? So the fourth industrial revolution, being it more technological and digitally led, it's just showing how a digital presence has become more important for brands as well as artists, and how you help a brand to invest in you, either for performance or influencer campaign or brand ambassadorship. It's because of your message, because no one can take that away from you. People can try and copy you and try and be you, but your purpose, they can't copy it. They can't copy where you come from. They can't copy your story. They can't copy your come up. They can't copy none of that. And that's what brands are looking for. And the most interesting thing is that, okay, now that we've moved digital and we are doing more campaigns online, music has become a big important aspect of that, because people are by nature shorter attention span, including brand owners. Hey?
And it's getting worse.
Exactly, including brand owners. So no one's going to try and fish for you and find you and whatever. So if you are leveraging the freedom that social media has enabled us to have, that helps you to bridge the gap to be, considered for these events and for these sponsorships or these partnerships or campaigns. So that's where I can see the brand investment in artists. Looking at the fourth industrial revolution, it's very much around telling meaningful stories, but using digital platforms, and making sure that you're on literally all the possible places that you can be, even ones that are uncharted. There's social media platforms that are offered in other countries that are not necessarily familiar in South Africa. And something that we've noticed is that what the fourth industrial revolution has done, it's opened the world so much that collaborations have become so easy. So there's nothing holding brands back from discovering you, be it a brand in Japan or in the US or in the UK. If your digital presence is as much as you can do, then you enable yourself to get that investment that you're looking for, and you assist brands. You make it easy for them to make their decisions.
Listen, I've met a lot of people in life, but you know exactly what you're talking about.
That's okay, thank you.
Yeah, so if there's one important thing, and I know you said a whole lot of important stuff, if there's one important thing that you wish an artist listening to this interview could learn from you today, what would it be and why?
So, it's going to sound very repetitive, but it's so true because so many people miss this. That authentic piece that we spoke about, be yourself. Don't say, I want to be whoever, because people see through that. That honest truth that you have within you of your talent, that's what you need to enable to shine through, because that's what people will ultimately see, and that's what brands, fans, people to collaborate with will gravitate to. Unfortunately, being insincere, being a copycat, I don't think people have patience for anymore. And also take advice. I've noticed that a lot of artists believe that, I'm a superstar, I've done it, I'm the guy, but you're still sitting on Instagram followers that don't grow. There's no brand partnerships that we are seeing. No one's calling you for events, big ticket events. Your billings are not increasing. So those are the kind of things that authenticity, coupled with being humble, is very important, because this business is also about relationships. They always say that people forget what you said, but they remember how you made them feel. So if you're consistent, the way a fan experiences you today, or someone who potentially wants to work with you experiences you today, they remember. And, if you're consistent in how you present yourself, that authentic self, that would be the advice that I would give.
All right. Second last question. What does heritage mean to you? And since we're in Heritage Month and tomorrow is Heritage Day, I needed to ask that question, and just to get your view on it as well.
Yeah, that question for me, it's a beautiful question, because it's I think it ties to what even my personal brand is about. So it's about identity. That's what heritage means to me. Identity, who you are, where you come from, and all the attributes that make you you in terms of language. These days I've noticed that, many of my friends' kids don't speak their mother tongue, their original mother tongue, and it's becoming a norm, So, so I have to say that it's definitely, it's your identity, your roots, the people that supported you to be who you are today, because we all know that it takes a village to grow a child, and not just one person. So it's definitely that identity and the manner in which you express it in the most honest form as you can. That's what heritage is to me.
Listen, this needs to be in an advert or something. I don't know. And that brings me to my last question, actually, which is, in the digital world, has caused a lot of things to change. Like a whole lot has changed. The way people consume content, music, everything has changed. And I'm sure there's a lot of change in the advertising industry because of this whole digital era. How can artists go about getting their music on adverts, especially like online adverts, as we are seeing more and more of that? Like if this song, I'm done with it, and I'm like, I see an advert for maybe, let's say, I see it in an advert for Castle Mixed Out, maybe, I'm just putting it out there since it's Heritage Day and on that vibe, So how would I now go about it? Because now I feel as though artists are becoming more and more aware and more independent, and most of them are starting to realize that, yo, listen, I can actually do this thing, and that's why this platform is here to show them that, yo, listen, you can do A, B, and C by yourself instead of, and then when that is done, you can now start working with people like you and brands like this and stuff like that. So, just to answer that question, what would you say?
Okay. So yeah, it's always been hard, if I can put it like that, for artists to get their music into adverts. So the opportunities are nice and they're quite wide because you can get your music in movies, in TV shows, in gaming, in ads as well. So I know an artist who I don't think has ever actually released an album or anything, actually, not even an EP. I think they just made a body of work and they put it on SoundCloud, and they had a French movie director contact them and say, hey, I heard your song on SoundCloud. Can I use it for my movie? They found him. So that first already shows you that they had a full and proper digital presence, online presence as an artist. So literally ensure that you are on all digital platforms that you possibly can get yourself onto, because you never know who's going to notice you. In terms of you yourself getting on or getting it yourself, there's nothing wrong with knocking on doors. I believe in doing a hit list. So if there's brands that resonate with you or your sound or what you're trying to put out, there's nothing wrong with you finding the marketing manager or the brand manager and saying, this is my music, or even the advertising agency that they work with, which the brand manager will lead you to, and say, this is my music. This is how I think my music fits with your brand. Feel free to consider me consider my sound for any potential brand campaigns that you might have out there. In the past, how it used to work is that it's not very democratized, if I can call it that. You have like maybe 5 people in South Africa who are the music people. They control all the sound libraries, all the brand managers, all the brands. Contact those 5 people and say, here's our concept, here's our advert, this is what we're going for. We want a sound that's going to make people feel happy or, feel sad or however it is. And you have those people are the ones that send the music. They have the contracts, and that happens for 12 months and ongoing. But now I think because like you said, we're seeing a lot of independent artists. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you saying, hey, this is who I am. Or even finding those people who control those sound libraries, who work on movies, who work on gaming music, and submitting your work to them and saying, this is who I am. This is what my sound is about. This is how it can work for potential movies, games, or ads. But something that is also key, it's about the feeling. So understanding what kind of feeling does your music give people, because it helps you to sell it. Because ultimately, anyone developing an ad or a movie or even a game, there's emotions involved, there's a feeling involved. So if you know what kind of music or what kind of feeling your music provides, and you identify people and say, this is the kind of feeling that you will get from this, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with them, understanding how to work with you. But then it's also very important for you to have someone at least looking over your agreements, because it's your music. The last thing you want is to hear it with slight tweaks here and there, and you. Exactly. So you just make sure that you've protected yourself in every way possible, and that you're well versed. There's a lot of information on the internet. More than what people can even contact people like me, for example, for advice or information on how do I go about this. Because you need to protect yourself, protect your work, and still manage to get it out there in the right way.
Wow. Jeez. I feel like I was in a music business lecture. But
That's a good thing.
No, it is a good thing, trust me. Like everybody in studio today learned something very, very valuable from you. Thank you for your time. I don't know the people that are joining in now, but I'll send everyone the link. I'll upload the link for the official episode. It's gonna be on Sunday. It's gonna be on YouTube, and this interview will be there as well. So if the people that are joining in now, you guys can catch it on Sunday. But thank you very much, Jay. Josephine. For just the way that I met you, dude. Like, it's incredible. And how we just all got along. It's truly amazing. And thank you for your time, for your insight, for your vibe, for your energy, for your belief. In the concept and in what I do and what it is that is bigger than me that is happening with the show. So I appreciate that, and I value you taking your time and dropping some knowledge. It's very needed. I needed it myself.
I'm so glad. Thank you so much for having me. I think what you guys are doing is amazing. I look forward to all the episodes that are coming ahead of now and all the amazing music that you guys are putting out. The vibe there in that studio, it just makes a person feel like, hey, I wish I was there as well. Ringing a tambourine or something.
Or shaker. All right, thank you very much. I have to go. I have to get back to the work and do the most as I always do. You know how it is. Yeah. Well, but thank you very much, man. I wish I really want to have you back on the show again. Like, I would have this interview for a whole hour if I could. But people have to go home. And do things, and I have to do my work. But yeah, thank you very much. Hey yo guys, what's up? As you can see, I'm out of energy. The work is done, the song is done, the artists are tired. So on this part of the show, we try to make it quick, So I'm just gonna ask the artists that were in studio a bunch of questions, just to get to know them a little bit better, so that you guys can get to know them and I can get to know them better as well. So I'm gonna start with our guest, Miss Noe. What's your strength in music?
My strength in music, I think, would have to be my singing. Even though I didn't display it today, I am quite a good singer. I just did have a bit of a situation going on during the week. But yeah, definitely that's my strength, if that is the context of the question.
Second question. Are you like a perfectionist that needs to
Hella
plan every detail of their life, or do you just happy-go-lucky? Let's go.
Ooh, I wish I was happy-go-lucky, because then everything would be a lot smoother, and maybe I would have put myself out there a long time ago. But I think everything happens for a reason. So being a perfectionist does have its perks, because in ways you can always make things and plan things out the right way.
If you had to choose between music and not music, but like what you did in
Like
studio
performing
today,
and DJing.
and DJing, which one would you choose?
Oof, performing. That's my first baby.
Yes, girl.
It's my baby. That's something that I've always wanted to do from a very young age.
And which young age was that?
Like the first memories I have of my life, young age. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so it's a question that I have for everyone. I'm gonna start with Zama, and you guys are all have to answer this question. What does heritage mean to you, and how do you incorporate it in what you do, if you do?
Oh my goodness. Ilifalembeli. Okay, so basically I believe that heritage are things that are passed down. It could be, it could be buildings, it could be whatever, but for now, for me, it's more about my cultures and traditions. Being a Xhosa woman, embracing it in my everyday life. I'm Zama Africa, so you need to know that by being Zama Africa, I try by all means to live it every day. To the way I dress up, to the things that I post, to the way I write, because I believe that we as this generation, we need to preserve it, we need to protect it, and we need to make sure that it's passed down in the next generations, because for some reason our cultures and heritage, history doesn't have much to tell about us, because we were not people that wrote it down, but now it's through what our grandparents teach us, our parents, like I'm wearing my mother's I want to do the same for my children, and my children need to do the same so that we can preserve it, because technology is taking over and the Western ways of doing things is taking over. So I believe that it is my job as a Xhosa black woman to make sure that we keep it alive. So every day in my life, it's about spirituality, it's about being black, it's about taking back our powers and believing and knowing who we are, and and greater things will happen. So That's me every day. I'm Africa.
She's answered to all of us, don't you think? Right?
I was about to ask, like, are you guys
What else are we gonna say? Now?
You're asking me a question that I will
Go.
answer every day.
Okay, but just briefly, do you guys like explain to me? Even if I know she said a lot, she said a whole lot. You know, just briefly, like, what do you have to say about Heritage Month and what does it mean to you?
I think for me, heritage, it does mean a lot. Obviously, everything she said, I agree with 100%. It is important for us to value our culture, our languages, and all of that. For me, heritage has taught me a lot about myself. And that's how I grew up most of my life, you know, private schools and all that stuff. But as I got older, I received a spiritual calling, and so that was a big shift for me. And it taught me so much and about my own strength that I have as a black woman. So yeah, man, heritage, it's very important. And when I have kids, they will definitely be all up in this heritage.
Okay, so what I was thinking when she was talking and all of that, I mean, we're booming. I mean, things are changing, like you're saying, and cultures are changing. Do we have the same culture we've had since the beginning? You know, and is it going to be a bad thing if cultures are shifting with the times that we're in? She just expressed that she's, you know, grown up in suburbia all her life, and I'm semi that way as well, but you know, we hardly ever go back now as Lalini and stuff like that. So what happens to our children's children? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was just a spanner in the works, but I think what is important is embracing that heritage. Whatever kind of background you're from, it should make who you are, and you shouldn't forget who you are and where you come from. Boom.
Wow. Check it out.
Thank you for your time, guys. You know, I know it's late and I know we're tired and we've been working. Thank you. Well, for me, just to answer the whole heritage thing, since this is awesome to answer what it means to me. And I mean, you know, when people look at me, they see this urban kid, you know. If today's episode I learned anything from everything that happened is authenticity, you know, and as that lady was saying, you have to be true to who you are and true to yourself, you know, and in order for you to do that, you have to know where you're from. You have to know who you are, who came before you, and who came before those people that came before you. So for me, I know exactly who I am, I know exactly where I'm from, you know, and I know my history, you know, and I know my past, I know my forefathers, you know, I know those who came before me, who paved the way for me to be here, you know, and that's very important thing that you must know, because at the end of the day, we all have different cultures, you know, and culture is very important. If we lose it now, we lose it forever. So that's what I have to say about Heritage Day. It's your boy DJ Shay's in the building. We out. Away. Yo, listen, you guys have heard it for yourself. The Producers Corner episode 3. We had the Producers Corner Unplugged. We've had Summer Africa Squatter on 6 do his thing, and your boy in the building do his thing on the beat. Listen, thank you to our very, very awesome guest, Sebesho, for giving us dope, valuable insight, man. You know, I appreciate that. It's something very special. So yeah, tune in next week, same time, same place. Your boy DJ Shay's in the building, the Producers Corner. We stay doing the most. It is what it is. Away.